All right, hello everyone, and welcome to our live coverage of the Warriors of Aesir's latest League of Legends tournament, the League of Legends Aesir 1v1 Bilgewater edition. Those of you who have seen some of our previous 1v1 tournaments will know most of the rules this time around, but it's pretty standard 1v1 rules. We have experimented in the past with having them on the Howling Abyss map. Downside of that, of course, is unlike some of the special all-star modes that Riot runs, we are stuck with the default Howling Abyss, which has the buffs and nerfs to the champions, which adds an interesting layer of strategy, but unfortunately it isn't exactly what we are... isn't exactly ideal, is what I should say. So, therefore, we're doing it on Summoner's Rift this time around, and, of course, as you might have guessed from the Bilgewater terminology, it is only Bilgewater champions. We're going to get started pretty soon. And I'm going to be banning spammers from the chat. Multitasking. All right, sorry about that. Bracket is up on your screen, or it should be. I see it right here. We have an interesting number of participants, so this time around there are a couple of buys. I believe some matches are already starting, if I'm not mistaken here. Yes, I'm seeing at least Starvold is there in-game. Players do try to add me. I have, of course, I think about half the players on my friends list. That helps me to spectate everyone, so that we actually get to see your matches, and your matches actually get to be seen by viewers on the stream. That said, I do believe we'll probably be jumping into either Ulfald or Starvold's match here shortly. Should be just a couple of minutes away on that. In the meantime, Summoner's Rift top lane, I'm being told by Foldmather. Thank you, Fold, for organizing this and for letting me know. I was curious, new Summoner's Rift. Actually, we're going to be doing Summoner's Rift top lane this time around, which is quite interesting because I have to assume the alcove is fair game, which is kind of cool. It adds some different dimensions. I would say one of the biggest being Ilaoi is one of the champions who's going to be available because it is Bilgewater. And let me actually see. We've got a minute here. Let's see if I can real quickly get up the Bilgewater champions. I don't know if I have a... Oh, I better update the screen. I'm actually on here. I do believe I have a screen with the champions on it. I sure do. And let's center that. Ta-da! There you go. So we've got this time around 8 champions to choose from. Ilaoi is one of the ones that I brought up. Of course, Twisted Fate is one that everyone's going to be talking about. Twisted Fate's super strong right now. Just got buffed quite a large amount. Has been crazy. Mid lane, top lane, AD carry, all over the place. So Twisted Fate's probably going to be one of those champions to watch. I'm curious why spectate is just not even an option in my client. That could be a problem. Let's see if we can restart real quick. We will be getting you into the action ASAP. But as you can see, the champions on your screen should be interesting. I mentioned potentially MF being a pick, but definitely Ilaoi could be cool. I saw Starvold practicing the Gangplank in a custom, and I see he's playing that right now. I don't know why I don't have the spectate option for it. Was that just quietly removed by Riot? That would be a little bit inconvenient. I don't seem to have the spectate option for anybody in the League of Legends client. That's going to be a bit of a problem for running a tournament. Did they actually just remove it? That would be pretty cool. My apologies to the viewers as we work on these technical difficulties, but apparently you cannot right-click spectate your friends anymore. They've deleted it. Well done, Riot Games. Well. That could be an issue. Okay, well, let's see what we can do here. Okay, thank you. I was going to say, if Ulf or Ben-Hur can invite me, one of you guys is going to need to hop down because the lobby is full. If you can hop to spectate. And then I will hop to... How can the lobby be full, though, if it's a Summoner's Rift game? Unless it's like a special Battlefy lobby that's been locked for some reason. Oh, sorry. Stream is hearing the spam clicking I'm trying here. Ah, because it's the tournament code lobby, so I cannot get in. Well. Okay, Ulf is making a regular lobby. Thank you, Ulf. Awesome. Again, apologies. We are doing what we can here. Interesting that they just removed the functionality to spectate from your friends list. That's one decision that could be made. All right. Actually, there is no spectate whatsoever. I can't even spectate here. I just have to sit on one side. Interesting. Okay. I do see a Reddit thread doing some live research here. Spectator mode currently broken. Well, okay. I think then what we'll have to do, hopefully, is I will just be on the team of somebody. We won't get to see the draft, unfortunately. Well, we kind of will. But you'll be watching me pick a champion, and then watching the rest of the draft. And then we'll be watching from the perspective of one player with the limitations of Fog of War, unfortunately. So, my apologies, but that appears to be what Riot Games is offering us right now, which is a bit of a bummer, but at least we will see something. All right. Oh. Okay. Currently waiting on Ulf and Ben-Hur and make sure both are ready to go. But that is the first matchup we're going to be seeing. It's technically round 2, but there's only one game in round 1 because of the nature of the buys. Don't show champ select to avoid any issues with sniping. Yes, that's a fair point. Thank you, Ulf. I will be doing that. Or rather, I will not be doing that. All right, we have readies. So let's go. So I will go ahead and unfortunately not be showing the champion select. My apologies again, but we will make do the best that we can. We will get to see some League of Legends at a bare minimum here for the Bilgewater 1v1. Yes, it appears Spectator mode is completely broken. Quite unfortunate. And that was 3 days ago. All right. We have lock-ins here. So I think I'm safe to show the draft, but I think we'll just be skipping to in-game just because you only get a couple of seconds anyway. So, here we go. Hopefully, at least everything will be okay on the stream side of things, as the in-game side of things has been a little bit of an issue this time around. Well, we've got an interesting little overlay here, so I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's see if we can't kind of mess with our overlay such that you get something anyway. There we go, okay.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Oh, I can't do my favorite zoom out either. And we're going to periodically get AFK warnings, but we will find a way. That's true. A stream delay would be nice. I mean, I think I trust everybody, but we will see about doing that. We'll go ahead and restart the stream after this game to ensure we do have a short delay. Although not having a delay has been very nice as we work to coordinate things. My apologies for the camera. I'll do my best here, of course. Twisted Fate versus Graves. So the Graves is kind of interesting. I mean, oh, this is going to be good. He should have the Q lined up. I don't know what the cooldown is going to be. A ton of damage, forces the flash away. The flash in and the ignite is going to get the kill. A minute 45 in, and that is already over. Well, okay, we're going to restart the stream quicker than I figured. That was a fast one. All right. Well, let's get back on our bracket and see if any other games have finished up. We'll get a quick update on that. I'll refresh and double check here. I'm seeing 1-1 between Dispa and Ori. I did see some rumor about somebody locking in a Yone. I'm not sure exactly. Ori rather saying that his opponent locked in a Yone. Maybe a misclick there. No idea. First things first, though. My apologies, viewers. I'll be right back. It's just going to be one of those days, but we're going to need to do a delay for the sake of fairness for our competitors, so we'll be right back with a stream delay enabled. And we should be back live. Once again, I apologize for all the technical difficulties, everybody. Probably should have double-checked to notice that the spectators' bugs existed. I don't know if this even qualifies as a spectator bug. It's more of a complete absence of spectator mode from the game. But this should be interesting as a reminder to the rules. Of course, best of threes here. Ulfald already up 1-0 after that first game. Graves versus Twisted Fate. Ulfald on the Graves, triumphing over Benher's Twisted Fate. Now we have the opportunity for a rematch. We'll be curious if we see a run back on the champions or something different. I was surprised to see the Graves. I mean, the one thing I'm always worried about with Graves is the ability to just kind of get caught in the minions. Depending on where the wave is at. But Ulfald really piloting it to perfection and actually flashing forward with the ignite. Lining up the Q and able to get that kill. So we'll see. If we do, in fact, get the run back, or it's a little bit challenging for me to comment on the draft here because I can see one half of the draft. So not a lot of speculation involved. And for those curious, we do have a 20-second delay right now. I think in the past, with the spectator delay already enabled, it's been nice because we can just be live and at least live see the chat and such. But unfortunately, the client and the bugs, given what they are. We're just making the best of it right now. So let's get you in game. We can even update the serious score at our makeshift scoreboard here.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
There we go. Okay.
The magic that sealed me became my blight.
30 seconds.
Once again, both players going in. Gold card goes down onto Ulf. He's going to dash forward with the Outlaw's Grit. Looking for another gold card. Looking for any card. Any of the 3 Egyptian god cards would work here. Ben-Hur, a.k.a. I don't play Ahri, by the way, for those unaware. Back under turret and going for a recall here. I believe that's okay, according to the rules. Should double check them myself, as apparently we had another player locking in Yone, who also was not fully aware of the rules. Bilgewater champions only. Yes, I'm the exception. I'm playing Varus because I am spectator Varus, AFK Varus this game. That is permitted. Minions finally spawning. We can double check items here, of course. So Ignite, Flash Ignite for both players. Pretty standard Dorans and pot start. Not as much variety available as in Howling Abyss. We've got that extra gold, plus the level 3, kind of changes things around. And you can see Ben-Hur really suspects that we've got a Graves there in that bush. And he's absolutely correct. And I absolutely have an AFK warning. My apologies on that. Get a bit quicker with my function keys, huh? Once again, Grit forward, will fall. Here comes the gold card, the trade back. The Ignite actually goes down from Ben-Hur. Yeah, I mean, not going to get close to a kill on that. Finds it being a trade slightly in his favor. All potions used by both players, but level 2 already dinged over by Ulf. You gotta be careful. Gonna have the Grit forward, and he's gonna be looking. Now level 2 dinged by the Twisted Fate. Smoke bomb goes down. Nearsighted again. Here comes the Grit from Ulfald. Couple of shotgun blasts. Snowblower blasts, really. Not a lot of CSing from other players. You can see definitely both of them with an eye for the potential kill. And again, Ulfald goes in. Here comes the gold card. The Ignite is down. One more auto would do it, but Ulf not going to flash forward. I don't believe he's used it already, unless I missed it. One advantage of Spectator is actually knowing the summoners. Oh, look for the smoke bomb, the flash forward. The auto is going to get it. Ulfald with the 2-0 is going to move on to the next round. Handful of quick games this time around. And looks like Ulfald already ready. Let's see if we can get a quick view of the bracket here before we jump in. Shout out to Ulfald and the rest of the players for accommodating me to be able to spectate, in quotation marks, given the problems of the client right now. Interesting. I cannot even decline this invite. It's just a cursed invite stuck on my screen. We'll see if that winds up being a problem, given the day's events. Would not surprise me. As you can see on your screen, of course, Ulfald, just with the 2-0, will be moving on to the semifinals. Zagram already 1-0 over Fomacry, so those of you who are longtime fans will know Fomacry is the 2 or 3-time champion. I even forget how many rings he has, how many trophies, whatever it is we give out, how many $10 RP cards is the prize this time around once again. Zagram 1-0 over him, though. Would be cool to see how that's going, but unfortunately, limitations of spectating, given the current state of the client again. Won't go on and on about that, but it is certainly a bummer. I'm in fact going to restart my client just in case, because something bizarre seems to be going on. Ori and Dispo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tied 1-1 right now, and I believe the one for Ori was a disqualification on Dispa for picking the Yone, as far as I've been informed. So I believe that means that they've only played one full game, although I'm not sure exactly how that went down. And I'm going to struggle to pronounce Walzehoe? Something like that. My apologies. If somebody knows the pronunciation in the chat, feel free to supply it. See if we can get into a game. Fortunately, difficult to coordinate with having to have the players actually wait for me to get into the lobby now. So it looks like, unfortunately, we may be a bit stuck right now. I think Ulfold, yes, Starvold's currently in-game playing one of his matches. I'll refresh our bracket here. Yes, I don't think they've played just yet. We do have an update, though. Dispa 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has moved on to the semifinals as well. So we have 2 semifinalists now, Ulfold and Dispa. We'll see if that auto went on your screens. It looks like it didn't. With a quick refresh, perhaps it will. Looks like it's still not updated for everybody. Let's see if we can get it to do so. There we go. All right, now you can see Dispa 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and Ulfold both moving on to our semifinals match. We're waiting for Starvold versus, I guess I'll just call him Uwals. That's got to be pretty close, right? Again, apologies for any mispronunciation. But they have still yet to play their first game, so they'll play one game, and we'll see if we can hopefully get word to Starvold to toss me an invite for the next game. And/or Zagram or Fomacry, who I do have on my friends list. They are currently in-game, 2.5 minutes in. Hey, we can check out what champions people are playing, right? That's something. So we can see Fomacry is piloting the Misfortune. Okay. Not going to say who, but somebody was flaming me for suggesting Misfortune was a potential pick. And Mr. 3-time 1v1 champion Fomacry is going with the Misfortune. Just saying. Zagram, on the other hand, playing the Nyla. Now, that does sound like a very challenging matchup. I can see if that was the matchup in Game 1 between those two, why that would be a problem. With the auto attack blocking for the Misfortune, that is a huge problem for the Misfortune. Meanwhile, Starvold is piloting the Twisted Fate, and he is 7 minutes into his game. Perhaps even looking at a potential CS victory with that long of a game, but we could only speculate. All right, I've got a brilliant idea that we can use to pass the time. Let's make a Bilgewater champion tier list. Based on having seen 2. Game 1 was Orivold on MF and Fomacry on Twisted Fate. Okay. So Fomacry took the Misfortune, and then Orivold pulled out the Nyla as the counter. Very interesting. Very cool. All right, we're going to try the tier list. Here we go. I don't even know if this is going to work. Actually, no, we want this live updated, so we're going to want window capture of this window. All right, here we go. So unfortunately, we only have Bilgewater champions, so let's see if we can track them all down. Well, we've got Gangplank. I'm just dropping them in. Don't panic, Gangplank fans. He's not necessarily C tier. Actually, he might be. We've got Nyla. Fizz is actually Bilgewater. I wouldn't have guessed that, but he is. Of course, Mr. Pike. Who could forget him? Who could forget Mr. Tom Kench? So just placeholders again. Of course, Twisted Fate. And Graves with no cigar. We're going to need Misfortune. I think that's it. That is it. Okay, we've got our 8 champions here. If I receive a league invite, and actually you'll know too, because you'll hear the invite sound. Fizz isn't Bilgewater on the list that we have. Interesting. He showed up on the Bilgewater and the League of Legends website. But fair enough. If he's not on the official list, he's not on our list. You're right. Oh, then I must be missing a champ. I'm missing Alawi. How could we forget Alawi? Wait, Tom Kench isn't on the list? I see him. Wait, he's not. Oh, Nautilus. Kind of crazy that Tom Kench is not Bilgewater. He seems so Bilgewater-ish. I actually messed up then because I was playing Tom Kench's theme during our break. In fact, let's get some of that because fortunately, tier list making is not that terribly entertaining, but I'll do my best. Okay, who do we miss? Alawi. What is alphabet? Alawi. And no Tom Kench. Now I'm missing somebody. Nautilus. All right. Well, the Twisted... So we saw Graves and Twisted Fate already. We saw Misfortune win, and now Nyla being picked against it. I feel like... Actually, I may have just made the list. I was just dragging around randomly. I may have just finalized the list. I don't know if I hit this. Although, I don't know. Because we're starting level 1 with 500 gold, this is what I'm talking about with Steiner, actually, before the tournament. I feel like GP with no Sheen, like level 1, is just really sad. I think I would put these two over him for sure. It's a question of Pike versus something like Graves. I think Graves is just going to be better than these two because of his ability to dodge out. I could see Graves being over Alawi just because he can dodge her E, and that's pretty huge. But I don't know. Ulfald's performance on the Graves, I mean, it feels weird to have the Graves below the Twisted Fate, given what we've seen. Yeah, Ulfald's questioning. That's valid, it's valid. Wow, we have an invite. Okay, we don't have to sit here for 20 minutes. All right, thank you, Zagram. We're going to get into a game. Let's get rid of our tier list here, and let's get back to a browser. Rather, get back to a bracket. So, 1-1 right now is the score. So, Fomacry, with the Misfortune, prevailed over Zagram's Nyla in Game 2. Now we go to Game 3, match point. Give me a moment here as I set up our screen, set up our series score. As we are in draft right now. Graves S tier, says Ulf. You made him look S tier, but is that Ulf S tier or Graves S tier? That's my question. He's going to say both. But... Okay. Orivald versus Fomacry, two heavyweights of previous Aesir 1v1s. Both masters players. This one should be a showdown for the ages. I'll try to do the best I can with the AFK warnings, the no zoom out, the limitations of our makeshift spectator mode. 1-1 the series score. Draft still continuing. Yes, says Ulfold. Once we have the champions locked in, I will reveal them. Will be interesting to see the summoner spells as well. I think Flash Ignite for both Twisted Fate and Graves last time was kind of interesting. I mean, I think a lot of times we see like only combat summoners or something. So I'm curious what we'll see this time around. With both champions locked in, of course, now I can reveal the truth, which is... Well, I know that Fomacry's picked Misfortune, which has been must-picked every time. Once again, Misfortune Nyla, the run back from Game 2, which we didn't get to see, but we will get to see it this time around. Especially if I transfer to the correct scene with the in-game Foamcry versus Orivold, aka Zagram. Gonna be a good one.
With utmost efficiency.
We'll check out the builds here. So, Foamcry,
Summoner's Rift.
their top here. Going with the Doran's Ring, interesting. So a little extra mana regen, and has the Comet too. So really going for the poke. And I'm curious if that's a way that he...
Spawn.
Oh, no.
It's actually gonna... Okay, that's because I just clicked. Make sure that I don't interrupt our poor players in the flow of their minions. So Foamcry just sitting pretty here in the bush. Flash and Ghost for Zagram on the Nyla, so definitely gonna have the ability to chase down.
Minions have spawned.
I do find, though, when you have Ghost, but if you get hit by the Make It Rain from Misfortune, the slow is pretty annoying. I mean, it can really just blunt whatever impact Ghost could have for chase down potential. Or running away, for that matter. Lethal Tempo for Zagram also has Resolve secondary, so curious if we'll have something like... Okay, spot it out. There's the Make It Rain. Tried to combine Zagram and Make It Rain into the Magram there, I think. So early poke already going down. Zagram going with the Doran Shield. So yeah, with the resolve of the Doran Shield, I think it's definitely playing into the poke. I feel like that probably must be what happened in game 2. Is that he just got poked down a lot, and it's continuing to happen. You see that. Wow. That early poke damage from the MF with the range advantage. Foamcry taking advantage of it. So Zagram's got to be waiting for a level 2 or 3 all-in, I assume. I mean, you could try to wait for 6, of course, but... Wow. And there's the level 2 already dinged over by Foamcry. Slow pushing this wave in. Zagram's going to have to check it under turret. Catch it, excuse me. Exhaust and teleport for Foamcry, so very interesting. I mean, with the ability to recall. Getting the remake option. Yep, sorry. The game is very picky about AFK, which is good for your rent games, not so much good for this. Zagram taking a ton of poke here right now. CS score is pretty even. Okay, I think there's an opportunity for another auto attack there from Foamcry, kind of missed, but going pretty good here still. Burning through quite a lot of mana. There's another auto. Harass under tower. Make It Rain. Quick dash out by Zagram. He's going to want that cannon. I don't know if he got it. Wow, you can just see. So I wonder if Foamcry, it was only level 3. I mean, I am curious if he put 2 points into E or something. That was a ton of damage, but the Doran's Ring does help. I mean, a little bit of AP. In the early levels, with the Comet, it's quite a lot. I'm curious if this is something that will continue. I mean, in the past, in our 1v1 tournaments, it has been Foamcry that has kind of set the pace in terms of, okay, what's going to be the meta for the 1v1? What are going to be the champions that pick? This is just relentless, isn't it? My apologies to the viewers. Okay, I need to get quicker on my function keys here, huh? Still potions available, 2 for Foamcry, who's... I don't even know if he's taken a hit from Zagram. Now looking again, Make It Rain. Zagram is crying in the rain right now from all of the poke damage. Forced to just... AFK behind the wave right now. I mean, now that CS score, the differential is developing. Canyon growing. Man, the autos are just brutal. I mean, the range difference. I mean, this is one thing I was thinking about, you know, when talking about champions like Alawi. Sure, good, but when you talk about something, oh, man. With the double up there, too. Zagram's going to be really careful now, too. I mean, Make It Rain's going to come up. Oh, man. I mean, he could just die with an auto and an E. Foamcry is being careful here. I mean, the exhaust is there. He can almost just walk up. Wow, and look at the damage there. I mean, I think Zagram knows he can recall. That must be what he's doing right now. And Foamcry is going to do the same, but the teleport Gonna mean Fomacry is quicker back here. Up 11 CS. Actually decided, okay. Oh, and Zagram is actually staying, and he's walking right up. Suspects something. Oh, man, but I think he's just... There it is, and then the make it rain, and Zagram flashing out. Exhaust comes down. He will survive. And now has the level 6, but I mean, probably scarcely has the mana to even ult. I mean, we can probably see... Yeah, he's got 70. I mean, he can't even ult. I'm kind of surprised he's staying. I mean, I guess the Doran shield helps a bit. I mean, you can see he's regenerating quite a decent amount. But not enough to really change the way this game is going. And here comes the ultimate bullet time is going to finish off Zagram, and Fomacry in a 2-1 victory advances to the semifinals. Well, at least we're getting to see a little bit of action here. Shout out to Zagram and Fomacry for letting myself and the viewers get a glimpse into that one. AFK warnings notwithstanding. It is going to be this by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus Fomacry in the semifinals. On the other side, excuse me, Starvold falls 2-0 to Uwal Zihoui, who's going to play against Ulfold. So we'll see who goes first here, whether it is, in fact, Fomacry or Ulfold. I think usually we just go top down in the bracket, but I think they'll probably up the Fold math on how that goes. We'll see. Hopefully, all things going according to plan. We will be receiving an invite and get a chance to at least see something of the in-game action without all the fancy accoutrements of our setup for a typical spectated tournament, but doing what we can. So a fair number of champions. Well, in the meantime, we should have a minute or so here. I think I see Ulfold making a game. Perhaps planning to send an invite here. We've got a minute or so here, though, so let's see. Oh, I actually closed my tier list window. I didn't mean to do that. We got to get the tier list back. Is it even working? Sure doesn't seem like it. There we go. Window title must match. That's what we needed. All right. So, I mean, I really think the misfortune is pretty good. Ulfold insists on the S tier. We've yet to see him lose on the grave, so I will abide by his wishes. I mean, I think misfortune with the poke build has got to be pretty good. I could see the graves competing with it for sure. I mean, we haven't seen the Alawi. I think I might have to move the Alawi down. If only because I've yet to even see anybody pick it. Perhaps it's been picked in one of these games. So we are going to be watching Ulfold versus Uwals, the first of our semifinals best of 3 series. Lobby is currently here. It is ready. Ready checks have come through. Draft has begun. So we are mere moments away from hitting the rift once again. This time for the first of 2 semifinals matchups, which we should get a chance to both see. Usually the way we do it is we inform the players to wait so that we can actually watch the entirety of both semifinal series and, of course, the grand finals, which are a best of 5. So it will be interesting. I mean, back to our tier list here, as we've seen, the only champions we've seen so far are basically these top 4. In fact, if we do move Alawi down, which, I mean, Steiner was telling me before that he really thinks that Alawi would be a top tier. So that's why I'm tempted to. I feel like, in theory, the Nyla good, right? Because she's got the free Jax, not free, but she's got, similar to the Jax Counter-Strike, the ability to counter those auto attackers, but it definitely feels like Nyla really needs a support. I mean, that's kind of my thinking, you know, because we saw in that lane, I mean, that looked absolutely unplayable for Zagram against the Poke Misfortune. I don't even know what you do at that point. We are about 5 seconds away from hitting the rift, so let's go. Well, probably should have spent some less time talking about pointless tier lists and some more time actually prepping the series score and the names. Let's see how quickly we can pull it off. Here we go. All right.
Only one protocol remains.
Let's see how quick I can use the function keys here. Oh, because I'm not F1. There we go.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Oh, it's always me. Okay. I guess we could just keep the camera centered on Wells here,
30
but
seconds until minions spawn.
kind of hate to do that, since it doesn't give us the entirety of the action, but see what we can do here. Wish we had the nice, smooth cameras that the Riot Games observers have. So Wall's just hanging out here. Went with the triple corrupting pot. Now, we haven't seen him play yet, but he did 2-0 in the quarterfinals against Starvold,
Minions have spawned.
and is piloting that Poke MF build, it looks like, pretty similarly. Doesn't go for the Doran's Ring, though, so won't have the extra AP on the Make It Rain, but will, of course, have the, the Corrupting Pot, which, as you can see, will do an additional 15 magic damage. So probably better, I mean, on individual attacks. And here we go. Ulfbald gonna get an early trade here. Gets a couple of autos down and gonna keep going. Okay. He kind of almost canceled one auto there, but got it off. Actually, I mean, this trade's... The minions are hitting Ulf. I mean, he's not really winning this. It's very even. Here comes the ward down from Wells. Actually, this is working pretty well. Just holding this down, I think it's going to be a little better. Smoother camera. And there's the Make It Rain poke coming through, we can see. And Ulfbald with the Doran shield and the Fleet Footwork is going to heal up pretty well. Actually, Biscuits for Wells, interesting. Here comes the Smoke Bomb and auto. Ulfbald with the level 2, taking advantage of that.
All that is left to me are my memories and the hunt.
Yeah, so we get to listen to Vayne voice lines as well. And for some reason, not hearing any audio. Interesting. Ah, that would be why. Having the locked camera removes audio. Interesting. Not sure if that's intended or not on this day full of bugs.
Mercy was not specified in project.
Here comes Ulf with a level 3 spike now. Is not going to get the second tick at the end of the line, but... in a world of poke champions with the misfortune, it is Ulfbald who is winning the war. If not necessarily the individual battles, just because he has the sustain. I mean, we've got the Biscuits, still a Biscuit available, and one more Corrupting Pot here for Walls. Does have the flash and the teleport, so it can back, refill those pots, come back. Curious if this is exactly what he did against Starvold. Again, after we watched Fomacry and Zagram, it does seem like the Misfortune going to be one of the top picks. Ulfbald level 4, as is Wells. Throwing down those Make It Rains. Quick score just about even. End of the line dodged out. Always curious to see. I mean, I mentioned Graves. I mean, powerful, but I think the minions always can... Seems like just when you really need it, the minions can be quite annoying for Graves. Oh, my apologies on that. Gonna have to get used to these hotkeys here. Wolf looking to dash forward, gets a smoke bomb down, looking for the end of the line. Here comes the second part of it. The cannon minions hitting Ulf, and he's taking a ton of damage. That last corrupting pot ticking. Still Biscuit not burned by walls. So, I mean, I'm surprised there's a misfortune that is winning these extended trades. It feels like Graves, I mean, with the added armor from the Grit, really should be, but it's not happening. Make it rain, poking him out. I mean, he's going to have the door and shield. Stacking up that fleet footwork, but I'm surprised. I mean, I just talked about before, making me look like a fool for talking about the sustain Ulfwald has, but here he goes. Now looking for the all-in, the ignite down, the flash away from the walls. And Ulfwald going to back away with that. Still has a flash of his own available.
When you cut away humanity,
Oh, Ulf looking to cancel, but he doesn't get it. Teleport coming through from the walls here as Ulfwald pushes forward. Probably looking for a reset himself now. Oh, interesting. So the Executioner's Calling is the buy from Muel. So just what I said, maybe the sustain not looking so great for Ulf. Now that heal cut is going to come through. LS, shield your eyes. The Executioner's Rush. No, I think perhaps logical with the amount of healing coming through. Level 6 and ultimates available now.
kinetic acceleration is go.
Oh, and actually going to be burned here by walls. I wonder if he's looking for another reset potentially. Maybe just grab something like a longsword. I don't know how much gold he has. Interesting as we see Ulf back here. Just farming up under turret. Down about 10 CS now. Okay, so double cloth armor is the pickup here for Wells. Very interesting. So Ulfwald with the ability to stack that armor with his E, and he went for the double longsword and a refillable pot. So with an eye for some resets himself, even without the teleport.
I am no longer human.
And Wells just respecting the potential for that Graves dash forward, the all-in. End the line, collateral damage. That can be a lot. Can be tons of damage. Looking for the smoke bomb. There is the end of the line. Not going to land. Gotta be careful of the mana, actually, potentially here on the Graves. He may have presence of mind, but... And another end of the line here. I mean, that's half his mana gone already. But, as I mentioned with the refillable pop, potentially just eyeing some resets here. Could be recalling already. Just about equalized the CS, but if he does recall now, which... I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if he's waiting in the bush. Yeah, and Wells was thinking the same thing.
I perceive.
I'll get the hang of this switching. Avoid the AFK warnings, at least. And about a 10 CS lead once again. And another reset as well. So this is quite interesting. I mean, it's not something we've seen in the past. I can't recall if we actually had recalls outlawed or just because the last time it was Summoner's Rift, we had done so much Howling Abyss that people were not used to it. That I'm not sure. Ulf looking to equalize things. Wow, going for the Warden's Mail. 40 armor, reducing attack damage by 9. Wow. And still the biscuits available for Wells. So this is quite a build. He is cooking. He's absolutely cooking. Here comes the smoke bomb. The end of the line is going to find a couple. Wow, but there comes the bullet time, and that's going to be a lot of trade damage back onto Ulf. I mean, I think the armor is working. I mean, look at this. Not a lot. That's not a lot. That's what I'm used to if I'm landing against a Malphite. Oh, true. I can just press Q. Good call. That's why we go. That's why we picked the Vayne. Thank you, Steiner. Ton of damage coming out here. You can really see Ulf is just not getting the better ends of these trades. I mean, at these early levels, this armor is so valuable right now. I mean, Ulf, the question is, does he respond by just recalling, picking up a Last Whisper? I would not even be surprised. I mean, that might be the correct play here. Because when you consider, let's see, I'm going to have to click and then unclick here. 92 armor on the Misfortune. I mean, that's a lot. To state the obvious. I don't know if it's justifying a Last Whisper rush, but I know if it was me, I think I'd be so tilted that I would just do it. Just from seeing the Warden's Mail, the sheer tilt. Now we're going to be conscious, though, of potential CS victory. 84. And this is something I mentioned to Steiner earlier, actually. It's just the ease with which Misfortune can CS is pretty helpful. You get into a situation like this where we're 10.5 minutes into a game, and I know the other semifinalists are probably sitting around saying, how is it still only match number 1? Well, this is how. I mean, Ulf's got a really... Okay, so he went for the Dirk and the plated steel caps. And the giant spell coming in for well. So we've got a tank Misfortune with an Executioner's Calling. Absolute Build-A-Bear workshop. And I think it just might bring Wells to a 1-0 victory. He needs 13 CS, and he is unkillable right now. He can really just hang out and farm as much as he likes. Yeah, he's not doing a lot of poke damage with the tank build, but he's going to kill the minions, and that's all he needs. Oh, well, he missed those two, but okay. Oh, no. Oh, it's a disaster. Can he get this one? Yes. Okay. But still, 14 CS. I mean, with Misfortune, you can see Ulf. I mean, he's really trying. The minions, of course, working against him on the graves. The pressure is on him right now, but I'm not sure there's a lot he can do. I mean... He's really trying to get all the poke damage he can. I mean, mana is going to potentially become an issue. Yeah, Uel still has another biscuit. I mean, it's just going to be so hard. He just has to get a couple of minions here. 9 more versus 23 for Ulf. Oh, my bad on that. Get too caught up in the excitement. We're closing in on the end of this match. Wells with 8 more minions will have the 1-0 victory. This is a best of 3, of course. But that will take him the match point for our second game. Oh, and there comes the bullet time. That's gonna, he's 2 more. Actually has to flash away. So with the ignite, the damage is pretty significant. He's got teleport though. I mean, yeah, Ulf is closing in 15 minions, but 2 minions is all that Wells needs here. And he'll have it. And here comes the teleport. He just needs to grab a couple, and yeah, you can see Ulf has pretty much just conceded it. There's the 100, and the GGs should be coming out. They sure are. 100 CS victory, so a creep win here for Walls. I'd love to see it, the innovation. Taking full advantage of the shop. Winning, defeating Boris at his own game. Executioners, Giant's Belt, Warden's Mail, Biscuits, Corrupting Pot. No aisle is off limits when this man is shopping. Hopefully I'll have an invite forthcoming. Yes! Thank you, guys. And we'll switch things around. We'll get Ulfold's perspective this time, just for a little bit of fairness. Getting both sides of the equation, if you will. Real quick, let's get a bracket up on your screens. Hey, one advantage You know, glass half full with all the spectator problems, the non-existent spectator system in the League client right now. We don't have any spectator delay. We do have to have a delay for the sake of fairness of 20 seconds, but that's a lot better than 3 minutes. You don't have to listen to me and Steiner talking about the draft in a 1v1 tournament for 3 minutes. Instead, we get right into the action. Or we should be. Ready checks are coming out. The lobby is made for game number 2. Uals with the victory. Creep score 100 to something like 88 from Ulfold. Very interesting. Readies have come through. We'll have to see if the misfortune is picked again. Come to think of it, this is a blind pick, so we could have misfortune mirror matchups. Again, may have occurred. I don't have the entire tournament statistics at my fingertips right now, but it has been a lot of misfortunes that we've seen. Technically, I could be turning on the draft music for you guys. No draft rambling, no good cast. True. Draft rambling is the heart of League of Legends esports. Well, we are in draft, for those of you unaware, which is probably most of you because you can't see it on your screens, because we're covering it up for fairness sakes. Okay, we have lock-ins. And I can, of course, reveal now, as you'll see shortly on your screens, that Ulfold has locked in the Twisted Fate. We'll wait and see what Uals has responded with. Ooh, you get to hear Demacia Vice Lucian theme. There's little champ select music for you. 1-0 up for Walls as I take Relentless Pursuit level 1 so I can periodically spam it.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
As long as a jam. Ulfold waiting in the bush here for Uals. Goes for the Twisted Fate. Misfortune again for his opponent. Again with the flash teleport. This time, Ulfold with a teleport of his own. Definitely seems like the recall gaming is a element that players have to be taking into consideration. Kind of an adaptation for those of our veterans of multiple tournaments, from tournament to tournament here. You know, you've really got to be conscious of sometimes things change. You know, we went from Howling Abyss here to Summoner's Rift. For some reason, the camera is absolutely going ballistic at Ulfold's movement. Gold card ready. He's going in. He's going to find it. There's the Comet. Pair of Comets for both players. Ulfold with the Doran's Ring, though. Keeping in mind, Twisted Fate definitely a champion we expected to see a lot of, and that has been picked a lot, but we've yet to see it win on screen. Sadly, our Demacia Vice music has worn off. We're left with the boring old Summoner's Rift music. Let's see who dings level 2 first here. Well, both of them at the exact same time. How about that? Definitely think the Misfortune's going to have the easier poke to land here just because he had the wild cards. I mean, yeah, that can be easy to dodge versus the Make It Rain being quite challenging to dodge. I mean, pretty much impossible to miss, actually. I'm sure there's some Misfortune support out there that cannot land and Make It Rain, but it would be rather miraculous. Level 3 dinged by Ulfbald here, and he's going to blue card his way back up to some more mana. Oh, hits a wild card. Trade of comments here. I need like a chat to remind me to E periodically. Well, let's pursue. Let's pursue. And a reset coming through here for Ulfbald. Just about even in the creep score. Oh, perhaps I spoke too soon. He's looking for the... Oh, I better not mess this up again. Oh boy, I'm almost going to miss the action here. Ual's going for the all-in here. Flash is available, but not going to use it. Sorry about that. You can see, still a biscuit available for the misfortune. Nolf going to be clean out of mana right now. Going to need a blue card for himself. Gotta be careful though. Hard to walk up the misfortune. Has the gold card. And it's just going to let a minion have that one. 23-21, the creep score right now. So definitely an adaptation from Ulf. You know, you can see with the Graves, I mean, decent sustain, but just, I think, the ranged poke ability of the MF really hard to go against, especially when Wallace is cooking up a build like that with so much armor and HP. We're going to try to just do things this way. As long as I don't click on the map. Perils of being a left-click attack move player. Autos come through. There's the gold card to stop Wells in his tracks, but... yeah, these trades very, very close, and got to be conscious of the flash potential. Blue card there for Ulf. I mean, a good gold card into... oh, that wild card landing is huge. The Comet coming back, though. Flash? Okay. I mean, you could flash blue card. It does do more damage. The highest damage you're going to get is the flash blue card. Unless, I mean, depending on your items. I think with enough 80 items or some such. I think red is better 80 scaling. I forget. But looks like resets coming through here. Unless it's a very cheeky brush cheese coming through from the wilds. Possible. And actually, interestingly enough, Ulfbald is going to have the power of the Destiny, which is both going to give him vision of anybody hiding in the brush. Okay, so reset came through from walls and a teleport. And something matched with a teleport there from Mr. Ulfbald. Keep this about dead even. Lost Chapter versus Vamp Scepter this time. Walls adapting again. This time, instead of maxing the armor, well, you wouldn't want to do that against Twisted Fate. At least early on. I mean, yeah, sure, 80 Twisted Fate, but even then he's doing a little AP damage. Wants that extra vamp and lifesteal this time around. And still a close game 2 of this semifinal series. Another wild card landed by Ulf. I mean, I kind of talked about wild card being dodgeable, but he's getting a few of them. Weaving them in there, and you always got to be careful. The gold card, then you can guarantee a wild cards. Throw in an auto attack or some such. Maybe you get enough autos in a real extended trade. That can be good. Okay. Bullet time going to come through. I was just actually about to talk about gold card being able to interrupt the bullet time, but to make sure that it's off cooldown and available for the Twisted Fate. And still about even on the creeps. Let's see, can Ulf get one more? Nope. 49-49, tied up.
How are you supposed to grieve? The thing you mourn comes back.
I'll be conscious of it's always going to E me up. I should have found a better spot. Just like Gimli at Helm's Deep. Ulf taking the worst end of that trade. Looking for a blue card. Maybe just looking for a creep victory. I mean, we're getting in that direction. Where's a good spot? I think if I just go here, right? My E will always hit the wall. We'll see how long it lasts. Ulfbald going for a reset here, and Ual's continuing to farm up. No teleports available. I'm curious if he will use a Destiny to get back in lane. I mean, it give him like a little bit of tempo, but okay, he sure is. And gives Uel's pause for a second there, wondering if TF is going to come teleporting in with a gold card, but not this time. 59 to 59 now. Double Amp Tome, the addition there for the Twisted Fate. He's going to advance that further. And no teleport available for Walls. I mean, keep in mind that the cooldown on the teleport is tremendous. I mean, you'd be quite lucky to get 2 teleports off in one of these 1v1 games. I mean, this is quite a long one, as is. And even some turret plating farmed by Ulfal. I don't know if we've seen that before. I don't think I was necessarily paying attention to it in the previous match. But okay, here comes the bullet time. That's going to get some pretty good poke down on the Twisted Fate. Actually takes a couple of waves worth of it at the end. Ooh, and a double up. Nicely done there by Walls. It's going to really poke down the TF. Okay, and Walls, in true fashion, as we've come to know him so far, now goes for the Negatron cloak. Says, okay, you go an AP champ, I build MR. Continuing to just gun for these creep score victories. This time around, though, I mean, it's gonna be close. Ulf doesn't have the Destiny, and he doesn't have the Teleport, though, so if he does recall, he's gonna forfeit being even on that. He's probably gonna give up, you know, a wave at least, potentially, depending on the timing here, but he kind of needs to recall. I mean, Wells with the Make It Rain can poke him under turret, and yeah, he's just gonna give up those 2. Tries to get one with a wild card, but ultimately it's going to recall back safely enough that Wells is not going to be able to interrupt that one. Oh, my bad. Wolf continuing to stay. Surprising amount of sustain. Oh, actually, he does have the... I don't even know if it's called anymore. The perfect timing replacement. The wishful thinking is an arena offense. The sneaky potion, the triple potion, the alchemist's brew. I don't know what it's called. 83 to 78. The creep score. We're getting down towards the end of this one. Oh, that's unfortunate. The wild card's just not quite enough damage there, and gives 2 over to that cannon minion. 85 to 79 now. So Walls is going to be rushing for that. But I mean, Ulf, he's low on mana, he's low on health. I think maybe should have recalled earlier, tried to grab something and come back. He has the Destiny now, so he can get back here. He's still not recalling. He probably thinks he doesn't have the opportunity. Yeah, okay, he wants to catch this under turret. Definitely. Seeing what he can do here. Gets one there, gets another. Oh no, okay. Flash is going to save him there from the bullet time. 91 to 84, the creep score right now. This wave will not be enough, but Ulf will have to stop him. I mean, he needs too many minions. He's got a full Luden's Companion. Took me a second to remember that. They keep changing the name. Luden's Tempest, Luden's Echo, Luden's Companion. Luden's got way too many items. And actually a reset coming through from Walls, who might actually have the teleport back up. I think he does. Destiny is going to force him to stop that recall, so that's actually going to help a bit. Now Ulf, okay, 86 to 97. He still needs 14 minions, though, versus 3 for the Misfortune. It doesn't seem possible that he can prevent that. I mean, if he can get this under turret, but the teleport's surely going to come through. I figured with the reset it was off cooldown. It is, yeah. So Ulfald's going to have to try to contest every single minion here, but I mean, how do you? 98, he needs a little bit more. 2 more minions to do it. I mean, Ulf basically just has to turret dive here. Going for it, the flash away, Ulf chasing, continuing to go. This is no minions here for Walls, and Ulf is at 96 now, 97. He is bullied enough. Has he actually done it? Walls is hiding back there, but needs the minions. I think Walls may have just conceded the game. Ulf needs 2. Wait a minute, he didn't use the teleport before. Hang on, here we go. 99 for Ulfald, 99, 100 ding for Ulfald first. Down to the split-second creep score match. I've never seen CSing and farming so exciting before. Since the last LCK game. Narrowest of margins of victory for Ulfald, but well played. I can't believe it was. I was sure that he teleported to get back to lane. But he just must have run back there with the strut.
When I kill him,
And
stay killed.
he teleported, but it was not quite enough. Not quite enough. Barely. Ulfbald, with the 100 CS victory on that one, will take us to number 3. Match point for both players. Bound to be a good one. Ah, yes. My invite has come through. I'll go for Wells' perspective this time around to keep my switcheroo in the interest of fairness. Equal screen time. What will the draft be this time around? We're into Champion Select already. Misfortune has been the pick. Twisted Fate has been the pick. Twisted Fate finally has a win on the board that we've seen. Might have more from the rest of the tournament. I mean, TF broken in solo queue right now, so the real question has been, why haven't we seen more of him? But 1v1 tournament, it's a different beast. It's generally been the Misfortune. I mean, the Misfortune very nearly won that. I mean, you have to think one little mistake one way or the other, that was anybody's game. So I would not be surprised to see, I guess, the salty run back you'd call it. I mean, perhaps the switch. I mean, we actually have not seen a mirror matchup this time around, or through the entire tournament so far. Any of the games that we've watched, no mirror matchups, which is kind of a surprise. So we'll see if we do have any adaptations, or we just see more Misfortune, more Twisted Fate, more ranged champions. No Illaoi just yet. We'll be really curious to see. I'm doing my best acting job, by the way, to pretend that I don't actually know which champions have already been picked. When in fact, I do. And we have to lock in so I can reveal the truth. Behind door number 1, it is Wells piloting Mr. Thomas Kench with Exhaust and Ghost. So we have a brand new champion, at least to our eyes here on Twitch, showing up. The Tom Kench has been unbenched. Is going to be against Ulfbald's Twisted Fate once again. Going for the Comet, going for the Flash, going for the TP. Exact same setup as before. We'll see if it leads him to victory this time around. Let's load into the Rift. Let's buy some items. Let's run into a spot where hopefully I will hit a wall and not keep running in.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Oh, this is interesting. We have questions about whether Thomas Kench is in fact Bilgewater. He shows up on the League of Legends website under Bilgewater. He does not show up, I believe, if you go to champions in the game or something, wherever the post in the tournament chat with the pictures of the champions, which I posted, but I got from Boldmather. Perchamps Universe is Ulfbald's reference.
Minions have spawned.
Fold, perhaps if you have a judgment on this, you can let me know. I can try to pass it on down to the players here in game. I'm 20 seconds behind, unfortunately. So it's going to take some time before he knows, but we will see. It is interesting. I had Tom Kench in my tier list before, and Fold corrected me on that, so I assume Thomas Kench is not going to be permitted. I don't know if that should result in a forfeiture, though, since, again, he is on the website, so I can definitely understand why you would pick him. We'll see. Okay, I've got a DM here, but I don't want to alt tab and take you guys out of the action. So let's get my little Discord mobile app running and see if I've got A ruling from our judges. Oh, it's just still full with the image of the champs. Yes. Yes, on Champs Universe, he doesn't show up. Yet when you go to the Bilgewater page in League of Legends website, he and Fizz do show up. So, yes. The Champs Universe image is what we posted before. So, I think we'll have to wait and see. Oh, my apologies on that. Multitasking too much here. We'll try to actually cast here. The all-in, the ghost coming through, the exhaust there from walls. Should be looking for the stun. Has level 3. Flash away from Wolffold is going to keep him safe. As soon as I have word here from our organizers as to what the status is of the Thomas Kinch pick, I will let everyone know. Abyssal Voyage dodged out, but Wolffold very low on mana. Trying to kite back. One more auto will take him down. Into the river he goes. Oh. Dodges away. Is this permitted? I don't know that going this way is even permitted. Maybe? Tom Kench not allowed, says Fold Mather. Okay. So, my assumption would be that this game will simply not count. Linked in rules and tournament chat that Tom Kench is not in the list. Okay. Fair. So, I assume this game will simply not count. I'm surprised Wolffold isn't dead, actually, to speak more of the actual events of the game. But because Thomas Kench is not a permitted champion, I believe this will wind up just being a for fun. Perhaps a disqualification. Up to our judges on that one. I was so excited to see the Tom Kench, too. I forgot as well that he wasn't allowed. Another Voyage takes walls, and behind the TF, it's going to be pretty difficult for Wolffold to make it out of this one, I think. 17 to 11, the creep score, so no danger of a creep score victory here. Rawls looking for an auto attack. That is going to do it. First blood to Walls, but to my knowledge, this does not count. Hopefully things will be cleared up with the players shortly. Get you guys information on what exactly has happened as soon as possible. I'd love to see just a redo with the 1-to-1, but not my call. We'll see. The rules do state picking a champion not from Bilgewater counts as a forfeiture. We'll see what the ruling and the results is on that. In the meantime, we'll take a short break here. Enjoy the sounds of Bilgewater. All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to our live coverage of the Aesir 1v1 League of Legends Bilgewater edition. We're back in the semifinals, and I do have some news. It is my understanding that because Thomas Kench is not considered a Bilgewater champion on the League of Legends Champions website, I actually just read his lore, and he has a lot of ties to Bilgewater, so I'm not sure why he is not, but for whatever reason, he shows up on some websites, on other sites he doesn't, but the linked website in the rules, the list that was in the rules, does not contain Tom Kench, so unfortunately that does count as a forfeiture of that game, which means Ulfald 2-1 is victorious in that semifinals matchup, and he is waiting in the finals for the winner of this match between Fomacry, our previous, I should know, 2 or 3-time champion, and Dispo12345, who is Hamadu 93 on League. But we have already had our draft, so we'll be hitting the rift shortly. We'll get you right into the action. Right.
Only the weapons have changed.
So the Nautilus, the pick this time around. Going for the Aftershock. So potentially, really looking for the all-in here. The door and shield, health pot. Potentially even biscuits, as we've seen done before. Fomacry going with the poke MF build with the exhaust and the teleport, which I think generally speaking has been very effective in the game so far. We did see Ulf triumph over it with the Twisted Fate, and we also saw Ulf triumph over the Twisted Fate with the Graves. So really curious to see how the finals will shape up with him there. But for now, Dispa versus Fomacry. Best of 3 series, we're still at 0-0. And still no sign of Fomacry, who does not want to get a dredge line to the face. And we all know how interesting the hitbox on the Nautilus can be. You gotta be careful. And very respectful of that is Fomacry right now. And yet, there it is. The dredge line comes through, the Aftershock is there, Fomacry trying to trade back, and ultimately is just barely going to get the better end of that trade after that wears off with a few extra autos coming through. And now we'll see how this shakes out. Fomacry going with the Doran's Ring. The Comet, of course. I mean, the Poke War should be won, but a fair amount of sustain built in by Dispa on the Nautilus. Does have the biscuits, so I got a couple of those. He's going to have the door and shield. Very well may have. Fortunately, unlike Spectator, one of the downsides we have here, we cannot see the runes. Level 2 dinged over. Big wave of caster minions built up here by Fomacry. Curious about the recall timings here, too, because Dispa does not have the teleport, so he's really looking for the all-in there with the Ignite. Which is how Ulfald won in the early rounds, but later on it seems like I'm quite surprised that double up did not land. I know Tyler 1 and several others, myself included, have been theorizing that it seems like the range or the mechanics of the double up was buffed or changed last couple patches. Ooh, Fomacry gonna receive a little turret shot for that one. A little retribution, but 16-5, the CS advantage. A strong start. A flash forward from the Nautilus. Look at the dredge line. Does get the root. The exhaust goes down. Still chasing here. Oh, dodged away from by Fomacry with the fancy feet, as they all say. Does lose that trade, and level 4 actually taking the Nautilus, and he's looking for another dredge line. Got to be careful. It's going to land. It's only level 3 MF. No exhaust, no flash. On the hunt is the Nautilus. Still has the Ignite, holding on to it. He's careful. Throws out the emotes. Okay. I was curious about the Nautilus. It's not a pick we'd seen so far. And we're seeing now that all-in potential. Sure, he's a tank, but he's got those base stats. His abilities do some damage. No teleport, though, so thus begins the long walk back to lane, while Fomicry has the luxury of a teleport, although I don't know if... It's hard to say if he's used it here. We saw some teleport fake-outs in the past where I was certain somebody teleported, and in fact, it was not the case. We get to have that guessing game added, a little mini-game without the spectator mode functioning. And Fomicry with a tier. Refill a little pot and a pair of biscuits. Nice little collection for himself, and we'll see if he can pick up these minions. They're a little bit of an awkward health position. Okay. He's got him away from the turret. Oh, but actually misses a couple of those. I mean, still a nice lead. I don't think he has to worry too much about getting every minion here. I mean, if he doesn't die, he is going to win by CS. 30-9 here. We all know what Disma's planning, but got to be careful. And I mean, I can see the Nautilus post level 6. I mean, he has the depth charge. That's going to be able to interrupt Misfortune. It's a little bit slow, so he's going to take a few waves of it before he can do that. Unless he's standing right in front of her and can just dredge line or something like that. And as I say, there comes the dredge line. Wow, look at the damage there. Just a Ruby Crystal picked up by the Nautilus. He's going to be looking for another dredge line. Fomicry has no flash. I don't know if he has the exhaust up yet. There it comes. More damage from the Nautilus. Turret shot comes through, and now here comes the trade back. Fomicry, how much can he get with those cooldowns down? A little bit, but still. A winning trade for the Nautilus, and yet, how much are those ultimately worth if he can't pick up the kill? I mean, we're even beginning to see, I mean, this CS deficit is such that there is a major gold lead for Fomicry developing. So as long as he's resetting to be able to spend that, he's going to have a major item advantage. Now, here's the big question. Does he just go full Uals and say, I want a no magic mantle or a Negatron cloak or something for the Nautilus? I mean, it might not be a terrible idea. I mean, he's got the sustain here, but that's not necessarily going to help him in these all-ins that he keeps encountering. I mean, hey, even you go like something like Boots just to be able to dodge away from those hooks. And I'm wrong entirely. Fomicry, previous champion, goes for the double longsword. Still has 3 biscuits to his name. The biscuits are going to go stale. 51 on the tier. Of course, hardly intending to fully stack that just to get a little extra mana. Checking on the CS right now, 38-24. So Hamad has actually closed that a bit and has the Bomby's Cinder. For Sunfire. Last I checked, still quite a strong item right now. Or rather the, the passive, so having the Cinder, very nice. I don't know if that was nerfed. I glanced at patch notes, but perhaps somebody can correct me. But, should be a solid buy. A lot of health. And now level 6 ding for both champions. Dredge line not going to connect. Traded back. But Disma's going to be feeling just fine. Still has a biscuit of his own. Fomicry. Oh, look at that. Nearly a max range dredge line. The depth charge available. The exhaust from Fomicry trying to kite back. And here comes the bullet time. But Hamad is just going to kite to the side. And here comes the ignite. The root. Another dredge line. A little bit more. We get the kill. Forced to flash away. I think maybe flash auto there gets the kill. It would be real close. I mean, that would be a big risk. I mean, sure, it's game number 1. You've got a game of breathing room, but Doesn't mean you want to lose. It's only a best of 3. It's going to force the reset out from Fomicry, though, with all those cooldowns burned. 20 CS, still his lead. And now, oh no, Dredge line to the wall, perhaps? Yep. Just enough mana for that, too, from Hamad. Don't know if that was calculated, planned, to have enough for a Dredge line out, but he does get out. Going to be forced back. Potentially could still have his recall canceled right there, but I think Fomicry probably doesn't have vision or doesn't want to risk getting Dredge lined under turret. That could be a disaster. Ooh, a little freeze set up here. 24 and counting the CS deficit. So now, a Vamp Scepter picked up for Fomicry as well. So now we got to start thinking about, oh, picked up the boots. Interesting. So it's actually Dispa that goes for the boots. Maybe wants to be able to have a little bit more chase down. Or hey, I mean, even just more movement speed. Get out of the dang bullet time so you take less wave or two worth of damage. Oh. There comes the Dredge line. Oh, excuse me for that. Getting too caught up and not stopping the AFK. Again, I mean, every trade going in favor of the Nautilus, but we know Fomicry is not here to trade. He is here to farm, and he is doing a great job of it. Here comes another one. Is the depth charge available? Yes, it is. It's not going to be used, though. Waiting for that lethal range. Going to force another reset out of the Misfortune, but Fomicry can afford to. He's got that cushion. You have to wonder if that's not part of the reason for the Bombies buy. It's just a little bit more farming. Makes it a little easier. I mean, half the time you pick up a CS without even trying, without even knowing. Okay. And actually the proxy coming through from Hamad here, so this could be interesting. Okay, so Fomicry walking back to base. Now, am I going to stop him? Has the depth charge available. Still waiting on it. I have to assume he's going to use it, or is he just... Nope, he's just hanging out. Okay, no, he's going back. He's going all the way around. He's got to try something experimental, something... And there is the No Magic Mantle and the Ruby Crystal for Fomicry, so... Yes, does want a little bit of magic resist just for a little bit more survivability in that all-in. Actually, we see, okay, this Dredge line means Fomicry has the opportunity to walk up. The bullet time is mostly just going to clear the way, but at this point, that's very dangerous for Hamad, who is down about 40 CS. So, unless he can find a miracle, still has the depth charge, still has the ignite, does not have flash. Might be up just in time before Fomicry can win. Ah, another missed Dredge line, but no mana here for Hamad, but he has no teleport. If he backs, he's forfeiting the game. Looks like he is. Maybe he can get back in time for like the final 2 minions or some such. He may have essentially already given up at this point. I mean, he had that potential. We really saw, I think there is, like I said, if you go back and VOD review there, I think potentially a flash auto kills the Misfortune in that situation when he exhausted and Fomicry ran back under his own turret. Maybe. Not sure. But actually, the reset's coming through from Fomicry. So, I mean, hey, you might as well. Why risk it? 9 CS and you win? Why not? Ticket to the grand finals on the line, but this is only game number 1. Even a victory for Fomicry would only take us to match 2. But that would be match point for one of our former multi-time champions. Up 37 creeps right now. We'll see what else he's learned from the walls and picked up some more Build-A-Bear Workshop. I mean, his inventory is practically full. Elixir of Iron and a Negatron Cloak. Here comes Hamad. He's looking for the all-in, but I mean, what are you going to do, man? I mean, you've got your base damages against a Misfortune with a Negatron Cloak and a Ruby Crystal. An Elixir of Iron burned just now by Fomicry. It's going to give him some extra health and some tenacity. I mean, Boy, he's not doing a lot of damage, is he? There comes the root. There comes the dredge line. Still the depth charge available for mod, but now... Ooh, man, that is a great bullet time, and that's going to take the Nautilus down pretty low. 8 creeps needed for the misfortune here. And I think he's going to get him. 7 more. Here comes the exhaust. Here comes the depth charge. Ahmad has to all in. He has no choice. The flash, the root. He's looking for the damage. The ignite goes down, but the minions are working against him. Here comes the shield. Fomacry doing what he can. Has the Vamp Scepter. Actually, the damage is surprising. The AFK warning is annoying, and the death is there. Fomacry with a 1-0 victory, taking us to game number 2.
Disconnected.
My apologies on that. Still trying to get used to the AFK warning. Quite difficult to be casting at the same time as remembering to randomly be pressing tumble on Vayne. Not exactly something I've done before. But hopefully by the time of finals, I'll have it largely figured out. And hopefully we'll be receiving an invite shortly to match number 2, game number 2 of this semifinal series. Ulfwald's already waiting in the finals for the winner here between Fomacry and Dizba 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fomacry with a victory 1-0. We did see Dizba pull out the Nautilus, and it showed some potential. In the all-in, I should say. Not in the CSing department, unfortunately. The misfortune seems to have cornered that market. Should be a lobby being formed. Let's see if we can't get a bracket up on everyone's screens so you can get a little update. Hasn't yet updated with Fomacry's victory in that one. But 1-0 the series score. And I think we'll go to a quick break. We'll be back in mere moments with game number 2 of the semifinals between Fomacry and Dizba 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello everyone, we are back once again for more coverage of the semifinals of the Aesir 1v1 Bilgewater Edition 1-0. Currently the lead for Fomacry over Dispo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll be hitting the rift in just a few seconds here. Here we are.
It's the same. Only the weapons have changed.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Gotta find that sweet spot where I can just tumble in peace so we can watch the game. All right. Fomacry taking the misfortune. Nautilus once again for Hamad, aka Dismo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same builds all around as far as I can tell, although Fomacry going with the Doran's Blade this time rather than the Doran's Ring, which I'm fairly sure he started before. We've seen a little bit of experimentation from the different MF players throughout the tournament. We have seen the Corrupting Pot. We have seen the Doran's Ring. I don't think we've seen a Doran's Blade yet. It's a new one. Naturally, of course, I would imagine there's a Nautilus waiting in the brush there in the beginning of the lane. And again, just as this went last time in game number 1, Fomacry is well aware of that possible threat. Last time he did still get hooked right before the wave came in. So let's see. Let's see if it happens again. He's coming in. I think the hitbox is there. Oh, he stutter stepped back and there was no Nautilus there. Must be in the middle brush. Unless his internet went out. That would be all we need. The final nail in the coffin of technical difficulties. Still no Nautilus here. Okay, there he is. Goes to the Doran's Ring this time around rather than the Doran's Shield. So adaptation and starting items by both players, but that is going to decrease some of the sustain in terms of health for Hamad at least. Hey, as long as he's full up on mana, sure, he's still getting some health sustain, but yeah, maybe not a bad idea since he's only looking for the all-in. Doesn't necessarily have to use any of his abilities unless it's on the misfortune. The Make It Rains coming down are going to be doing a solid little bit of damage here. Hamad, of course, conscious of the massive CS deficit last time that really, I think, put him into a tough spot. Thought he was going to walk up there and look for the auto, but he winds up walking up and just taking a real rough trade. Fomacry still full HP. Burning through the mana here, but already a 12 CS lead. Is a very solid start for the, I want to say reigning champion, but it's been a while since the last Aesir 1v1. I don't know that Fomacry, I don't think he participated in the last one. The multi-time champ is certainly accurate. I've been using that terminology. 19-8 now. We're still seeing ranged versus melee, the pressure here, but gotta be conscious, of course, of the Nautilus all-in. You can't completely underestimate that. But boy, is that a lot of damage. Fomacry slowly driving this wave in. The poor Nautilus under turret. What can he do? Looks for a dredge line there, and it delivers him into a couple of bullets from the misfortune. A couple more. Oof. So you kind of see the adaptation from Fomacry here, who said, okay, I'm autoing this Nautilus a ton because he is just dredge lining in, trying to go for the all-in all the time. So oftentimes, I'm probably doing more damage with my autos, even not, you know, discounting the passive, than I am with Make It Rain. So hey, let's get some AD. Let's get a little bit of health for the all-in, even some lifesteal. Stay out of lethal range. I can see it. Oh, thank you, Fold. He did win the last 1v1. He didn't play in the 2v2. Right. 30 to 15. Double creeps right now, and oh man, gotta be careful. I mean, exhaust is there, and yeah, Foamcry was thinking about it. Potential kill threat. Biscuits available for Hamad, but I mean, he's got to be resetting right now. But we're really seeing the developments, the beginnings of a repeat of Game 1. A big CS lead. It puts the pressure on the Nautilus to find the all-in. Certainly the possibilities of it, and Foamcry pulling the wave out, making sure that stays away from his turret. And he's going to go for the reset right now. Again, has that teleport difference, so whereas Hamad has to make that long trek back to top lane, Foamcry is going to cast that purple spell and be there in an instant. Or is he? I've jinxed it. He's also going to walk, but at least he has his passive. Need a little spry. Hamad gonna walk in here, potentially look for another proxy. Yeah, oh, sorry. Have to keep an eye on that. Here comes the dredge line. There is the root. No level 6 available, but the trade going heavily in the favor of the Nautilus. And back. Okay. Back under the turret he goes, which is interesting. Foamcry just throws a single auto there. Mostly is more concerned with the creeps at this point. And why shouldn't he be with a 30 CS advantage developing right now? I needed to get like a post-it note to put on monitor that says vein tumble, press Q periodically. 32 now the lead. The poke continuing to rain down. You can see a whole bag full of various potions and oddities in Foamcry's inventory here. Comes the dredge line, the root. And, oh, the bullet time. Not too much, but a little extra damage there on the back end of that one. And a Vamp Scepter as well, plus the Doran's Blade. Means Foamcry is going to be staying quite healthy right now. Still up 30 CS, still has the triple biscuit combo. Cloth armor and a ruby crystal for Hamad. CS lead staying pretty stable right now, but the danger is that 100 CS horizon. Cresting past that, of course, one of the ways to win, and actually, more often than not, the way we've seen the game ending the last few that we've watched. I mean, these have been going a long time. They've been going to 100, and it's usually been the misfortune delivering. We're getting close. Wolfball did manage to stop the misfortune with his Twisted Fate. And a thrilling matchup. Watch the VOD on that one if you missed it. Well, I just spoiled it for you, but it was still pretty cool. One of those where we need to go back and watch the instant replay. See exactly what happened when slow it down to slow-mo. Resets coming through from both players, and this time, now that I don't say anything about it, Foamcry will grace us with a teleport. Mod's going to reset, walk back. And you have to think that window is closing. It's going to close now. 28 CS. Let's see if this one comes through. It'll make it, yep, 26. So, right about 4 waves worth. And Foamcry will be headed to the finals once again. So, yep, continue to pick most of these up. Did miss a couple there. Picks up a turret plate, so I wonder if that does prompt a reset. Just because you kind of want to take advantage of that gold. Yeah, he's thinking about it. So Hamad went with the Bombi Cinder once again, has a bonus cloth armor this time around, so a little bit of extra armor. And Foamcry says, hey, Vamp Scepter, 2 ruby crystals, and a Negatron cloak. Good luck all in killing that. Unfortunately for Hamad, I think that's going to be a huge challenge. I mean, we've seen he's been sneaky powerful in the all-ins with the Nautilus, but He's not even farming right now. Well, I mean, Foamcry's going to know he's in that brush. And he'll happily walk up and take the dredge line. Still losing out in the trade, but now is starting to turn it back around with the help of some minions. But again, concerned more about the minions. He wants that creep score victory. 19 now, what he needs, make that 18. Trading back pretty well onto Hamad, who has the Ignite, who has the depth charge, but 15 minions, he's got to find it right now. He's got to find the all-in immediately. Dredgeline not going to find it, looking for some kind of auto. The bullet time, oh man. That's going to get him low enough now. I mean, he's got to be a little bit careful about an all-in actually killing him. I mean, I think if he just burns all those biscuits, he should be okay. But I don't know. There's the dredge line coming through. The exhaust is there. Depth charge potentially available. Doesn't burn it. Still waiting. Wants to get her low enough, but I don't think that he can. 9 more creeps and Foamcry is headed to the finals. Trying to zone the Misfortune off the wave here. Nautilus looking for another dredge line. Finds it the root. A depth charge now? No. Still holding it. Holds the Ignite as well. Will need it. Still 9. Trying to make sure the Misfortune cannot touch this wave. And Foamcry says, hey, I got a 48 CS lead. I can afford to reset and come right back. You can't. And I think with that reset, Hamad may be just about forfeiting this game. I mean, the way these minions are, Foamcry is probably going to lose maybe 3 of these to creeps. Should be able to get the rest. That will mean he needs 5, so just most of a single wave would do it. And he came back with, I think, just a pot is all he bought. Oh, no, he got the Elixir of Bloodlust. That's what he did. A little bit of extra lifesteal. And AD. And that's 101. Yep. Had the worry that there was not enough time for the Nautilus to reset there. Indeed, there wasn't. Once there was 101 Dalmatians, this time there's 101 minions falling prey to Foamcry's Misfortune and handing him a golden ticket to the Aesir 1v1 Bilgewater Edition Grand Finals, where he'll face off against Ulfald in a best-of-5 for the ages. Currently getting ready for the draft here. Hasn't begun yet, but the lobby's up. Ready checks will be coming out shortly, I assume. I'll prep my little makeshift overlay here. And we're in draft, as you can probably hear from the sound effects. So we'll have to see. Ulfald, at least, that we've seen. We've seen some flexibility from him. We've already seen him pilot the Graves and the Twisted Fate. That I can recall. I don't recall that he's actually played the Misfortune. So I think he did play one Misfortune game, if I remember correctly. Perhaps I'm mixing them up. But this time around, it is going to be Foamcry piloting the Misfortune once again. We'll have to wait and see a few seconds here, and we will know. What does Ulfald answer it with? The Graves returns. Ulfald on the Graves goes with the Flash Ignite and the Fleet Footwork once again. Let's get you in game with coverage here.
Now I hunt the machine.
Fomacry now once again pivoting to the Doran's Ring. Knows, hey, against the Graves, not necessarily going to be standing in his face as much as the Nautilus, who is constantly dredge-lining in to all-in me.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So the Doran's Ring, the better play. Fomacry winning the bush here is going to spot out Ulfold. Going to throw out a Make It Rain. That's not going to do too much here. And Ulfold's going to quickly dash out.
Minions have spawned.
The finals of the Aesir 1v1 Bilgewater edition. If you're just tuning in, Ulfold versus Fomacry. This is game number 1, but it's a best of 5. 3 wins needed to take the grand prize of $10 RP. And all the bragging rights contained therein. Both players squaring up for the time being. Fomacry having to be careful. Ulfold was very aggressive on the Graves in his previous games. More than willing to frequently dash forward, look for a smoke bomb, mend to the line, collateral damage combo at level 6 at least. Sneaking those autos in, though, is Fomacry. He's got his eye on another championship. Ulfold, I believe, the 2v2 champion in the Aesir 2v2. And a veteran of our tournaments. NWA, of course. He's going to ding level 2 first. Smoke bomb, looking, dashing forward. There's the autos. Minions are in the way. AFK warning is in the way. My fault on that. What exhaust down onto Ulfold. Now Fomacry looking to trade back. Ulfold trying to find something on the tail end of it, but he won't. Kited out well by the misfortune and the Make It Rain. Going to make Ulfold feel the pain. Fomacry sustaining well here. CS pretty even. Fleet footwork should help out the Graves a bit. As he's going to hit level 3. And again, look to press that level advantage. Smoke bomb is down. End of the line. First tick there. Second not. Make it rain. Trade back, Fomacry. Feeling pretty good. Oof. Even with the Doran's Ring, those autos at the early levels do hurt. Yes, even this time around. I have a feeling it's going to be somebody dying. Looking for the end of the line. One part of it does connect. An auto back from Fomacry. Ulfold very low. Playing with fire here. Can't really walk up. Make It Rain is there. Very low is the Graves. I mean, sure, Fleet Footwork helps, but for every time he's getting that, he's just getting hit with a Make It Rain and a Comet from Fomacry's misfortune. Throws a smoke bomb down for good measure. But for fun. That's always good on ARAM when you got Dark Harvest, just to grab a free Dark Harvest stack, just smoke bomb a low HP target, or if you're really fed, you can just one-shot him with it. Get yourself 30 or 40 stacks. This isn't that kind of game, though. 23 to 15, the CS difference. Ulfold still staying in lane. I mean, Fomacry is a little bit low. Flash Ignite available from the Graves. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, man, that's going to do it! With the Comet, just barely enough. I think potentially could have flashed away from the Comet, maybe. I didn't exactly see if the last tick of damage was just from the Make It Rain. But that's a 1-0 start for multi-time champ Fomacry. And that will take us to game number 2. We'll have to wait and see. Draft adaptations, build adaptations, more tank misfortune, more farming, or more all-ins. Stay tuned, and we'll find out. And we are already in the draft for game number 3. We'll see how long it takes. Sometimes these players know exactly what they want to bring out. Sometimes they want to take some time, fine-tune their build, take the right runes. I mean, that can be tricky here. Armor or MR, you don't really know, even against something like Misfortune. I mean, is this more of a E-poke Misfortune, or is this a Doran's Blade auto Misfortune? You don't really know. Perils of blind pick. And still, despite the blind pick, we've yet to see a mirror matchup. If I didn't know better, I'd think there's some sort of unspoken agreement between the players or something going on. Very surprising. We've yet to see Misfortune, but players always thinking they have the counter pick to something else with the Misfortune, or they have the counter pick to the Misfortune. We'll have to see if Ulfald does adapt. Certainly seemed like fairly close with the Graves MF, but the poke was just a little bit too much to contend with. We're ready to go. We've got the lock-ins. I can spoil one for you already. Ulfald is rolling with the Twisted Fate. Once again, Flash and Teleport. His summoner spells, and really, he's got 2 of them, right? Once he hits level 6, he's got Destiny, and he's got Teleport. Plenty of recalling and resetting available. It is going to be sticking with the Misfortune this time for Fomacry. Once again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But he does fix his summoner spells, or change them at least. Ghost instead of Exhaust this time around.
The machine made me. Now I am the machine.
Let's see. Still have the correct sides here, but let's add a little win there for you. Ulfald up 1-0. Oh, that's not correct at all.
Welcome.
Fomacry up 1-0. Excuse me. Fomacry up 1-0 after game number 1. But this is a best of 5 here in the finals. 3
30
wins.
seconds until minions spawn.
And you're the grand champion of the Aesir 1v1 here in Bilgewater. How about red buff pit? That seems like a good spot. All right, let's get up to the top lane action here. A ward already down for Ulf. His build going for the Doran's Ring and the Comet. Comet, the old reliable spell, it seems, for everyone who's won a game so far. No mirror matchup so far, says Fold. I assume maybe that's in the games we haven't getting to see. No mirror matchups either. That is quite crazy, I think. Anyone who's played in the previous Aesir 1v1s knows that we have seen a plethora of Callista mirror matchups. What was it before that? I can't even remember. Was it Caitlyn? No, that was years ago. Anyway, long story short, a lot of mirrors is what we've seen. And sometimes it's the correct pick. I mean, I'm recalling Zagram in the finals. I think it was against Fomacry, trying out the Vex pick against the Callista, and unfortunately, it was tough. It was tough sledding, to say the least. So that time there's a reason the Callista gone. Callista was being picked, but Twisted Fate MF, the matchup this time around. Fomacry going with the Comet and the Doran's Ring once again, but again, the Ghost adaptation there. Couple of poke champs. We'll see who comes out on top here in game number 2. Oh. There's another one where I really would have thought that double up would land. But it didn't. How often do you say that in solo queue when you're landing against Misfortune? Looking for the blue card. Oh. Fortunately, a couple of creeps going to be missed here by Ulfald. Can that make it rain? Boy, that's frustrating. Really unavoidable poke there. Ooh, a nice double up there from Fomacry. That's the, oh, what's the movie where they curve the bullets? James McAvoy. People know the one I'm talking about. The one where he's sweating and batting himself with the folder. That meme is from that movie, for those of you unaware. Probably Zoomers not aware that what movie that's even from. Back to the game, 16-7, the creep score for Fomacry's Misfortune, up 16-8 now. Not the kind of deficits we've seen that really present a problem, but I mean, it can grow. Ooh. Oh, my mistake on that. Too busy talking about James McAvoy instead of pressing Q to make sure we avoid an AFK. Warning, Fomacry with a Make It Rain. Now going to advance. Going to have the Ghost. Can probably just chase him down here. He's going to win this one. One more auto would do it. First blood goes to Fomacry. 2-0 here in the grand finals. That will take on the match point against Ulfald. Game number 3. It's going to be big. A very quick one, as you should have the brackets up on your screen, but we only have one game to keep track of at this point. It's Ulfald versus Fomacry. 2-0 up for the multi-time champion Fomacry, on the verge of yet another Aesir 1v1 victory. He very well could do it. Ready checks coming through. Draft is already here. Everything on the line now. Ulfald needs a reverse sweep. Needs 3 wins in a row to win these finals. Otherwise, dropping a single game means Fomacry is once again the champion. Draft is underway. We'll wait and see and find out. Oh, we've got a quick lock-in. Well, I can tell you, no surprises here. Fomacry is once again rolling out the misfortune. In a few seconds here, we'll be hitting the rift for game number 3. Two wins now for Fomacry, looking for number 3. Ulfald looking for his first win of the finals so he can take us to game 4. And let's load in and hit the rift now that everything is set up. Hey, let's go to the blue buff pit. There's a good spot, huh? Let's see about the builds. There comes a Make It Rain. And here, with everything on the line, at last, a mirror matchup emerges. Double misfortune. The difference, Fomacry opting for Exhaust Teleport, Ulfald wanting the Flash Teleport. Both of them with the Doran's Ring, both of them with 2 pots, both of them with an Arcane Comet.
Minions have spawned.
Fomacry with control of the brush in lane early on here. We've yet to see this. We've seen a lot of misfortune, but we've yet to see 2 of them in the same game. A dream come true now. Mirror matchup, practically mirror build as well. But different skins. Prestige Bewitched versus... That's Arcade Misfortune Chroma? Yes. It's a cool chroma. Red and blue. I like it. The Make It Rains already. Dishing out some damage onto Ulfald. Looking for one of his own. Gets a little bit. Feels like Fomacry, he has a little bit of a leg up here in this level 1 and is going to ding over the level 2 now and look to push Ulf out. Ulf actually goes into the river here. Kind of a odd spot. He finds a very awkward spot he finds himself in. I mean, he has the flash. Is he actually going to have to flash? Exhaust is down. I think he's trying to hold it. And he's going to be okay. Not a lot of damage with the Doran's Ring. So the extended auto is not as bad as one might think. There's level 2 finally for Ulf. But you can see Fomacry definitely has the advantage here. Has a very healthy wave on his side. At his beck and call as they push towards Ulfald's turret now. 10-5 and an Elixir of Avarice available. Here comes Fomacry, an auto, a double up. That's a lot of damage. Ulfald sticking around here, so dangerous. This is match point for Fomacry. He falls here. That is it. Fomacry's the champ. Here comes to Make It Rain. And gotta be so careful. I mean, in auto, there's no flash. Ulf stays under turret. That's gonna do it. 3-0 victory in the grand finals. And Fomacry is the champion of the League of Legends Aesir 1v1 Bilgewater edition. With the dominant run of misfortune performances, He dropped a game to Zagram way back in the quarterfinals, but since has yet to drop a game. And completes his run with a 3-0 sweep here in the finals. Congratulations to Fomacry, your Aesir 1v1 champion. Well, I guess we'll hop over for a quick post-match interview just to see if Fomacry has any words. Hello, hello. Congratulations, Fomacry. You're once again the Aesir 1v1 Grand Champion. Do you have any words to your fans and viewers here on Twitch?
I hate misfortune.
Fair enough. Well, that'll do it. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Okay, and that's going to do it for our live coverage. I hate misfortune. You heard it from the man himself. He didn't want to do it, but he had to do it. The champion and the winner of $10 in Riot Points, Fomacry, once again here in the Aesir 1v1. And with that, thank you to all of our viewers. Thank you to all the players who participated. And, of course, thank you to Fold Mather for organizing and judging the competition. I appreciate everyone bearing with it and particularly helping me out with the egregious League of Legends spectator client bugs. Not just a spectator bug. There is no spectate. You cannot spectate League of Legends right now. That does not exist as a thing, which is just wonderful for organizing tournaments, but we found a way to at least get you guys some level of viewership, so I hope you did enjoy that. With luck, Riot will have everything fixed for next time, and we will have a slightly better viewing experience for you, but all things considered, congrats again to Grand Champion Fomacry, and we'll see everyone next time.